Hi, so I am here with my dear friend Krishna Prem, who I first met in the Osho ashram, and we're here to talk about his book, which is called Aloneness A Love Story.
Great.
So maybe first of all you can just tell us a little nutshell about your life with Osho, how you ended up in the ashram.
Yeah, I'm American, and I needed to get away from myself. I'd never heard of meditation, and I just started walking. And I walked all the way from America to England, not on the water, but on the plane. I would just pace. I was just so uncomfortable with who I am. I had been confronted at the age of 28 with the concept of I don't know anything at all. And in India, I've learned that's a wonderful, ecstatic thing to say. It's the beginning of intimacy when you finally admit you don't know anything at all, that you graduated college and you don't know anything at all. And that was disturbing because I thought I knew everything by then. And I walked to England, and in England, the English, they don't like to take care of themselves, so I was able to get a job as a bartender. And then I would have a drink with you because you just found out that your boyfriend's cheating, or you just found out that you're pregnant, or you just found out you lost your job, and you would have a drink. So I wouldn't, as a bartender, I would have a drink with you. And I was getting totally drunk in order to avoid myself. One night, no one came. And I realized I was drinking alone. In other words, I had become alcoholic. And I realized something was wrong, but it's so difficult to find out that you're fucked up. So at 2 in the morning, I closed the bar. I'm sorry, this story got too long maybe. But I closed the bar at 2 in the morning, and I walked across the street with my girlfriend. And we had Indian food because that was the only restaurant that was open. And I'll never forget it because it was closed. And I said to the boy cleaning, "What's it doing closed?" He said, "Well, it's a holiday." And I said, "Well, when are you opening?" And he said, "Well, I don't know, because when God created the world, He gave every Indian a holiday. And we don't know when we're going to open." So I went to the airport, drunk, with my girlfriend. I put all my money on the counter and I said, "I'm hungry, I want to go to India." And then I had enough money for a round-trip ticket for me, or 2 one-way tickets for me and my girlfriend. Now here's the question. If you know the answer, you may not want to read my book. I'm drunk, I'm crying, I'm in love. Did I buy a round-trip ticket for just me, or 2 one-way tickets? I end up in India with no money with my girlfriend. We're living in Goa, under a cashew tree, on the Arabian Sea, idyllic life. But one thing no one ever told me: don't drink the water when you come to India. This could be the most important lesson in my book. We drank the water. We got what they call the shits. I don't know a better way to say it. She turned her back to me. I turned my back to her. She rented the biggest book you ever saw in your life, called Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. And I read the smallest book I ever saw, called Seeds of Revolutionary Thought by Acharya Rajneesh. And I became enlightened reading that book. I became happy. Every word. 1973, Roberta Flack, singing his song, telling my life with his story. I became so happy because I never read anybody that knew me better than I knew myself. And I decided in that very moment I'm going to look for a master, because I knew I couldn't help myself. And this little tiny book was saving my life. And now I'm in Mumbai and with my girlfriend. You know about codependency. Even though we hate each other by now, we're not leaving each other. and a beautiful young woman sat down with us, and so good looking, and she was flirting with me, and even though my girlfriend hated me, she went to the woman's room. I stayed with the girl, and I said to the girl, I'm just an ordinary guy. What do you want with me? You know, she was like a beauty queen, and I'm just on the road from Goa. I look like shit. She said, oh, I'm not flirting with you. I just want to tell you about my teacher, Osho. I said, wow, that's great. And it's an important lesson. She didn't know how to communicate without being sexual. And I didn't know how to listen to a woman without wondering why she was being sexual. But when I found out she was talking about meditation, we all relaxed. My girlfriend came. I said she wants to tell us about her teacher in meditation. My girlfriend and I held hands. We almost healed in that moment. And we were off to find Osho. And when I met him, I felt so happy because I knew right away he had something that I wanted. And I wasn't coming from greed. It wasn't the kind of want like a Cadillac, or it was the kind of want I wanted myself. And when I looked in his eyes, I could see myself, because when you meet a master, there's nobody there. So when you look into him, who do you see but yourself? And I'll never forget it, because Osho said, would you like to be my disciple? And I said yes, but inside I was saying, I want to be Acharya's disciple, but he's not alive. But I'll take you. And it was amazing, because when I left him with my new name, Krishna Prem, which I never liked that name, by the way, I went outside and a young woman gave me a present because I became a meditator. And that's, in India, you don't get a present because it's your birthday. You get a present because it's time to look at yourself for the very first time, your second birth. And the name of that book was Seeds of Revolutionary Thought by Osho. It was the same book, he had just changed his name. And that's the miracle of India. One step, I was Michael Mogul from Boston, Massachusetts. The next step, I was Krishna Prem from nowhere at all. And here's the fun stuff, because Osho said to me, how do you feel? And you know, I had practiced that I want to say I feel enlightened, but around a master you can't lie. And I said, I feel lucky. And Osho couldn't stop laughing. He said, I'm so glad to finally meet somebody that's not enlightened, that just wants to be lucky. And then he looked at me and he said, and you stay with me, you know, until you don't feel lucky. That's my problem. I still feel lucky. I'm still with Osho. And my book, Aloneness, is actually my let go of Osho. Because it's not like I had a girlfriend that I couldn't let go of. It's not, for sure I could let go of my parents. My religion was bye-bye. America, gone with the wind. But I was attached to Osho. And finally, after 50 years, and I'm embarrassed to say it, I'm finally able to be alone. And Shashi, we were just laughing because, you know, she said, Krishna, I never see you alone. But aloneness is not about physically being alone. It's about not being attached to your girlfriend, not being attached to your parents, you know, not being attached to your job. You still have a girlfriend, you still have parents, you still have a job, but it's a play. So what is meditation? It's taking something serious and making it playful. So my book is about playing with your attachments until you're alone. Once you're alone, your attachments become joy. You can't believe it. And I want to say one thing. For example, you were born a human being, and you're acting like a human doer. And the problem with that is usually because your human doer didn't ask your human being, who am I? Your human doer is exhausted from not cooperating with who you are. So you need to go down into the dark night of the soul and be reborn. So you need to ask your human being, who am I again? Please remind me. And you have to let go of God. You have to let go of your parents. You have to let go of your girlfriend. And the dark night of the soul is only painful if you're still attached. In other words, when you let go, you also have to drop your attachment. And guess what happens? Once you pass through the dark night of the soul and you meet your parents, you don't say fuck you. You say thank you for fucking. I'm so happy to be alive. Mm-hmm. And when you meet your Buddha, you say, Buddha, let's take a walk. I no longer need you, but I think you're terrific. I'd like to take a walk with you. And then your human doer is so excited because it can finally do what it wants. It may be exactly what you're doing now, but it's now you're doing what you want. So my whole journey is moving from loneliness, confronting yourself, learning to be alone, and saying thank you. So my book, and I love when Rumi said, if you're going to say one prayer a day, let it be thank you. And and for me, thank you is saying to your loneliness, thank you for being so lonely that I had to ask myself who I am. And once I relaxed with who I am, I was able to accept my aloneness. So my book is about being juicy. I certainly don't want you to meet somebody when you're miserable, because you're going to meet another miserable person. I want you to get so juicy. Then you go out. Then guess what? You meet somebody juicy. And when two juicy people meet each other, then you don't even need Shashi's workshop. That's Tantra. Two juicy people saying, I am overflowing and I want to be with you because you're fun and you're also overflowing. But that overflowing has nothing to do with who you think you are. It has everything to do with who you are. So my book helps you to drop thinking and become yourself. Once you drop your mind, that's what we call in meditation no mind. Once you're not identified with being a woman, being American, being European, your existence appearing as a woman, your existence appearing as a man, your existence having a fabulous time on planet Earth, to the point when you die, the last thing you say is what Rumi reminded us, thank you. So I really recommend my book because it's not a great book. All the books you read about meditation are great, and all they're doing is judging you for not being enlightened. My book is just the opposite. You're a piece of shit, and thank you so much for letting me know that I have work to do that can turn into a play. Playing destroys working. And then you can go back to work, but you'll always be watching yourself work, watching yourself love, watching yourself dance, Again, Shashi will remind me, you disappear into the dancing because you're having a great time. So that's what my book is about.
Amazing.
I'm blissed out talking to a little video camera because I know one day you're going to watch this and one day you're going to say thank you, like Rumi said. It's a blessing to be alive. We have to stop being so serious. Osho asked me to be a joke unto myself. Not to laugh at myself, but to laugh with myself. So have a great time. If you ever see me, say hello. Shashi's always reminding me, only you could write a book called Aloneness because you needed to. She's making fun of me. I don't like Shashi at all, by the way, because she's always making fun of me. Read your own book, Krishna Prem. And of course, who would write a book called Aloneness A Love Story, but a lonely person. But in the end, what I like about me is I'm not giving you weight, I'm giving you joy. I waited forever to finish this book because I didn't want to take my pain and give it to you as a present. I wanted to take my love and give it to you as a present. So I think you'll have a great time. Right, Shashi?
Yes.
What do you think? So much fun.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
Enjoy.